Fans have been dying to know if Julie Chrisley ever apologized to the victims of her crimes. There is a lot to unfold when it comes to Julie Chrisley and her recent resentencing. It seems that some fans are fed up with Julie and her family at this point. Keep reading to find out more about this situation. Julie Chrisley and her resentencing. Julie Chrisley recently had her resentencing hearing. This is something she and her family were hopeful about. She requested to attend via Zoom. However, the judge denied that request. Julie also asked to wear street clothes for her hearing. This was denied as well. One more thing that was denied was a 24-hour furlough she had requested. When it came to her getting a new prison sentence, she received the same amount of time as before. This was devastating for her children to hear as they wanted her home. Did she ever apologize to her victims? Fans have been dying to know if Julie Chrisley has ever apologized to her victims. Well, the answer is no. A fan made sure others knew that. Our justice system works. Nowhere, in all of Julie's tearful statement, did she apologize to the victims of her financial crimes. She wanted to be treated better than other inmates. She was denied preferential treatment. She was denied a 24-hour furlough. Why should she be allowed access to her children? Why should other mom inmates be the only ones to endure the hardship of separation? She is an arrogant criminal from an arrogant criminal family. Other fans agreed in the comment section of the Reddit post. They feel as though she should not have asked for all the things she did. They also feel as though she should have apologized to her victims. It seems as though Julie has not once apologized to her victims. However, some fans wonder if she does not feel guilty because she has no clue about what Todd was doing. Regardless, people do not like how Julie tries to get special treatment due to her fame. They also think this is why Julie did not get any time off from her sentencing. Maybe because she asked for a lot of treatments leading up to the resentencing as well. How do you feel about Julie not apologizing to her victims? Do you think she is in the wrong? Sound off in the comments below. Julie Chrisley, star of the once popular reality show Chrisley Knows Best, has found herself in the center of a national scandal, facing conviction for tax evasion and fraud alongside her husband, Todd Chrisley. The Chrisleys, who were once known for their glamorous Southern lifestyle and picture-perfect family values, have had their image shattered as they serve a combined total of 19 years in prison. The question that remains on the minds of many is whether Julie Chrisley has apologized to the victims of her crime. In the midst of her legal battles and imprisonment, has she acknowledged the harm caused by her fraudulent actions? The rise and fall of Julie Chrisley. Before diving into whether Julie apologized, it's important to reflect on how she reached this point. As part of the Chrisley family, she became a beloved TV personality, charming viewers with her Southern hospitality, no-nonsense parenting style, and constant efforts to keep the family together. Julie and Todd Chrisley portrayed themselves as a power couple with an aspirational lifestyle, but behind the glitz, their finances were crumbling. The pair were found guilty of conspiracy to commit bank fraud, wire fraud, and tax evasion, leading to a public outcry from fans and victims alike. They were accused of defrauding banks out of more than $30 million in loans by inflating their assets and hiding their true wealth. The Chrisleys also dodged federal taxes. The legal battle and sentencing. As the legal process played out, both Todd and Julie maintained their innocence. They repeatedly insisted that they had done no wrong, claiming that their financial woes were the fault of a former employee who had committed the fraud without their knowledge. The Chrisleys clung to the narrative that they were innocent victims of a greater scheme. However, the evidence brought against them told a different story, one of manipulation, deceit, and greed. Julie Chrisley's conviction carried a heavy toll. She was sentenced to 7 years in prison, with her husband receiving a 12-year sentence. During the trial, many speculated whether Julie would eventually express remorse for her actions or apologize to those who had been hurt. Did Julie Chrisley apologize? As Julie Chrisley entered prison, she faced increasing pressure to apologize for her role in the financial crimes. Yet, throughout the trial and the aftermath, Julie remained steadfast in her claim of innocence. Her legal team emphasized that she had no direct involvement in the fraud and was merely swept up in her husband's business dealings. This narrative gave her some leeway in avoiding a public apology, but it also left many of her victims feeling ignored and neglected. Reports from those affected by the fraud painted a picture of real damage. Families who had trusted the Chrisleys with financial investments were left devastated. They had suffered real economic losses due to the fraudulent schemes, and many expected an acknowledgement from Julie. But as the months passed, the expected apology never came. Even as she began her prison sentence, Julie remained defiant. Public statements from her family reiterated their belief in her innocence, and while Todd Chrisley expressed regret about the strain on their family, neither he nor Julie directly apologized to the victims. Behind bars, Julie's reflection. Life in prison gave Julie time to reflect on the whirlwind that had led to her incarceration. Sources close to her claimed that, in private, Julie had begun to question her role in the financial schemes. However, those same sources also indicated that Julie felt a deep resentment toward the legal system and still viewed herself as being unjustly punished. During an interview before entering prison, Julie spoke about the toll the trial had taken on her family but didn't address the victims directly. She talked about her children's heartbreak, the difficulties of facing public scrutiny, and the emotional weight of being separated from her family. But an apology to the people financially hurt by her actions? That remained absent. This lack of direct remorse led to public criticism. Victims, commentators, and legal experts questioned Julie's sincerity and accused her of avoiding responsibility. After all, the financial victims of the Chrisley fraud weren't just statistics on a balance sheet. These were real people, some of whom lost savings, businesses, and security due to the fraudulent schemes. The media's response and public pressure. The media closely followed every step of the Chrisleys' downfall. Talk shows, podcasts, and tabloid headlines all speculated about when, and if, Julie Chrisley would ever apologize. Public opinion was divided. Some believed Julie was as much a victim as anyone else, manipulated by her husband's business dealings. Others felt that Julie's refusal to take responsibility was a clear sign of her involvement and greed.